Hi, my name is Garza. I'm the chairman and CEO and inventor of Janus Energy Resources. Pour raw Omani heavy crude into here, and you can see how thick it pours. And then we're going to upgrade that heavy crude to a light oil. Okay. Okay, that's heavy crude. You can see how it slowly moves through there. So we're going to take some Janus J12. And we're going to add it to it. Now the purpose of when we add our product to here is based on two things. One, raising the API if that's what the intention of the client is, or two, just to lower the viscosity, which means basically in a nutshell, we're going to thin the oil out so that the oil will actually mix properly and allow the oil to actually blend to a lighter oil. So we're going to take this product here, which is about 10% of what I put here, and we're going to pour it into this heavy crude here. These are very scientific whipping thing here just to mix it around on here. And we're going to mix this oil up here, which was heavy crude here. And I'm sure you can see by now that even on the sides of this thing here, it's very light. We're going to do two things here. One, we have the heavy crude here. Now we're going to pour it. You remember how it was when we poured it in? Now that's how we're pouring it out. Pouring it in. And pouring it out. Now, to prove that there's another, we're going to take some more heavy crude from Oman, and we're going to add it right back to the product again. You can see how thick and slow, like molasses, that's coming out. And we're going to add it back to the same product we just put the 10% in there. Because now the molecules of the Janus J12 are bound with the hydrocarbon molecules, which allows it to mix around. Now granted, this won't be as thin as what we started off on the first round, but it'll be thin enough to be able to go through a pipeline. So we're just basically going to mix it up. There's no heat to this. We're basically just taking Janus J12. We're not adding any more Janus product here. And we're going to pour it. Probably about a 400 viscosity. And the API was praised by at least 7 to 8 points to start with. Omani is a reasonably high 28 to 34 API. Their issue has to do more with viscosity. And depending on what you're trying to get to, is just depending if you're going to use 10%, 5%, 7%, as high as 30% if that's what your goal is to try to make it produce. Okay? That is Omani heavy crude turned into light crude. To recap, we have Omani heavy crude from Oman, who does a very good job of producing their heavy crude, but even when they produce it, it's still heavy crude when they get out of the ground. We have taken that raw heavy crude, mixed with Janus J12 product, about 10%, added it to their heavy crude, and poured it back into it, and basically lowered the viscosity, as you can see, pouring it out that quickly, lowered their viscosity from a very high 1800 or better down to below 500, probably closer to 350. Then we took more Omani crude, added it directly to the mix that we had before, mixed it up even more to make it a little bit thicker. We probably had it down the first time down to about 100. You don't need 100 to send it through a pipeline. You need to keep it below 400, 300, 500, anywhere on that range. Anything above that will be very hard to parcel. So as you can see, we've done it. So if your crude is thick and you're trying to transport it and upgrade at the same time, the difference between this and steaming only works as long as there's heat. It does nothing to upgrade the quality of oil, and it does nothing to lower the viscosity on a permanent basis. If you have this problem, thank you. Call us.